What's up, guys? Cassidy and Stirrup here. Welcome to the channel. I know it's been a hot minute. Just been working, doing what I do, but I'm back again. And if you guys can tell from my earlier live that I did today, I was on my way to see the Odyssey. I wanted to see it in IMAX, and I just got done watching it. Dude, this movie is 2 hours and 52 minutes. And you feel every freaking bit of it. You know what? First of all, let me cut this off real quick because I don't want to hear any background noises. I'm in the car. You guys see I'm not usually outside. You feel me? As you can see, you know I'm usually outside in the front. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, you know what? Let me just take a load off and sit down. I have to sit down for this, okay? Because I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be one of the most divisive, just split down the middle. Either you're a Christopher Nolan fanboy or you're a fanboy for good movies in this general topic right now. I'll let you know this, dude. Where I messed up really bad is that, you know, to prep myself to watch this movie, I actually read audiobooks. I looked into the lore and the culture and just the epic poet of who Homer is. And I had the audiobook for the Odyssey. I went ahead and just revisited it. I know I seen the story a long time ago when I was younger, probably so. And to get prepared for this movie, I went back and I read upon it, looked at, content on it. And I was like, damn, bro, this story is pretty epic. This is an epic story, man. This movie, freak all with that, dude. Freak all with that, dude. Honestly, they even gave us free posters, bro. They even gave us a free poster. Look at this poster, bro. They gave us free posters. Oh, free poster with... Thank God I'm on the unlimited membership with Regal, because my God, these prices are insane. They wanted $70 for that bitch-ass Trojan bucket. I'm like, I'm not paying that. But yes, they gave us free posters. Oh yeah, oh, sorry poster. Sorry poster. I see why you were free. You a good sacrifice to the gods, yeah. Sorry, bro. I'm never watching this movie again. I'm never watching this movie again. And honestly, after watching this movie and seeing the critics sucking this cock of a film, sucking and slurping Nolan's cock and balls, I love Christopher Nolan. He is one of the greatest filmmakers of our time in modern history right now. But Christopher, you take an L, sir, in my opinion, my book. There's people at the end of this movie, towards the last 10 to 15 minutes of this movie, this theater was packed, bro. This theater was packed at the last 10, 15 minutes of this movie, bro. I could see people in the audience, including me, just moving around. Just like this, bro. Just waiting for this travesty to be done and over with. It's like, bro, it's like people were trying to stay awake. There was very little reactions. The people laughed at John Leguizamo, or however you say his name, the Hispanic actor. He said a line in here, and a few people laughed, and everyone else was like, what's funny? This isn't funny right now. It's not a funny, bro. I'll tell you this is just going to be a split down the middle type of film. And I really feel bamboozled and shitted on because I shouldn't have revisited the poem. I shouldn't have looked in the original story. Actually, I'm happy I did. But in regards to watching this movie, if you love the story The Odyssey, you are going to mutilate and hate this film. I'm going to be real here. As a general audience and someone who's never read the story, knows nothing about Greek mythology, you might love this movie. you will love this film. But if you know about Greek mythology, if you know about the Iliad, you know, or the Odyssey story, if you know, look, someone just slammed their door, and we're all walking out with posters. Someone literally just walked across me and said that was terrible. Yeah, it's gonna be that type of film, and it's gonna be that way because we know what Christopher Nolan is capable of. I'll tell you this off rip before I really get into the main review. I will never watch this movie again. I'm not. I'll never watch this movie again. Because it's like, why? Especially for me, who, again, I just revisited the Odyssey story. This movie tries to pack in a 10-year epic sorrowful journey of Odysseus trying to get back home through all the trials and bullshit that he got in regards to him, mainly starting off of Polyphemus, or however it's, I'm not trying to remember all these freaking names, but the story of the Cyclops, who's Poseidon's son. That's where it kind of really anchors into. And you have Athena in here. Well, in the story, there's Athena, Helios, Hermes, Poseidon, Zeus, you feel me? You got Circe, you got Calypso. It's like, dude, you take all the mythical and all the mythological and just Greek mysticism out of the story, and you ground it. And that's what Nolan does. He grounds things. That's fine and all. But it's like, you basically took the essence of what really makes the story pop and amazing. You see no gods in here, bro. And even when you see Athena, who's played by Zendaya, this is Zendaya throughout the movie. And she says a few words, oh, this. I'm like, yo, listen. Let's get this straight. And as you can see, I'm a black man, ma'am, sir. All Lupita being in here did not need to be in here. Zendaya being in here did not need to be in here. It's like they were just acting. You brought nothing to the role to show me why Christopher Nolan decided to cast dark-skinned women, which I don't have a problem with, but it's the characters you're playing, buddy, ma'am. Zendaya is playing Athena. Lupita is playing Helena of Troy. Are you kidding me? And at first, everyone hates it, dude. Honestly, dude, bro, the dislikes are more than the likes. By a mile, buddy. By a couple miles. And before I saw the discourse, I'm like, you know what? It's a fictional story, but we got to put that bullshit aside, because even though it's a fictional story, it is still of Greek culture. It still holds a special place in a lot of people's hearts, especially with being in Greek. Living in Greece, and how the Greek people feel about this movie. They have no Greek actors and actresses that they casted in this movie. This movie started with Travis Scott with a stick, banging a stick, being a poet or whatever, or I won't say a jester, but he's just speaking in the trials of everything that of this adventure here, and he's just banging with the stick. Who starts off a Greek mythological epic story with a black rapper? He looks ridiculous. The costumes look ridiculous. Just seeing it in IMAX, and I had a close-up seat to the screen, so I'm just looking at everything. I'm gonna tell you this again: if you love the story, you may hate this film. General audiences will love the film. But it's just the fact of, I'm a huge fan of superhero stuff, Greek mythology, all that stuff. I love magic. I love the mysticism. I love the supernatural. So when you take all of that out of this story that relies heavily on that, and you turn it into your own thing, Christopher, and you ground it, it just feels like it's a bland, just Greek story. It just, bro, you felt every minute in that theater, dude. It's like, again, not much reactions. Dude, the seats, this theater was packed. and you had a lot of people. The audience was split down the middle, but I heard more moans and groans, sneezes, farts, and just coughs throughout the movie and towards the end. Towards the end, there's a few clapping, and again, it's like it's an ode to Christopher Nolan. It's like, oh, it's Christopher Nolan, so we gotta clap. We have to give praise. I love Christopher Nolan to death, bro. I love Interstellar. I love Inception. I freaking love the Dark Knight trilogy, obviously. I enjoyed Oppenheimer. I really did. I enjoyed Oppenheimer. You feel me? Tenet. Dude, I will watch Tenet again over this. I feel like Tenet's not a bad movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's just a lot to unpack and a lot to consume when you watch Tenet. But I think that's what whets the palate of the movie, because it's so much going on. It's like you're trying to figure out how time is working. It's warping backwards and things like that. It was a very interesting, mind-bending of a watch. This movie here, sir, it's just a boring, bland, grounded Greek movie about a guy who just wants to go home, and he runs into Calypso. Athena pops up a few times. And Zeus and Poseidon are raging against him for disrespecting the gods, which you don't see the gods at all. I would have loved to seen a director and a team that would have taken this story to bigger and newer heights. This film, the story, the Odyssey, being a 10-year epic journey of trying to get back home through the trials of the gods and testing their patience and challenging their laws and will. This deserves to be a trilogy. How about this? This is what I would have done if they were thinking about bringing the Odyssey to the big screen. I would have been like, yo, where's Peter Jackson? I get Peter Jackson, the mother freaker who did The Lord of the Rings, the greatest trilogy of all time, fantasy-wise, the greatest mythical fantasy, story ever told through the screen. I would have had Peter Jackson do this and tell him, yo, Lord of the Rings this shit up, just in Greek style, bruh. Just in mythological Greek style. You don't see, bro, the monsters that you see in here, even the Cyclops, dude, they make Polyphemus or Polyphemus. Sorry if I'm saying his name wrong, but I know I'm saying it close enough, man. The son of Poseidon, when they get trapped in the cave and they try to take his food. First of all, I'm sorry, guys, because it just pisses me off, bro, that Nolan, this is his worst film to me. I'm gonna say this off riff. This is Nolan's worst film. And these critics, dude, guys, do not trust Rotten Tomatoes. It's bullshit. Rotten Tomatoes is bull and it's bought. Can you believe this movie is sitting at 96% right now? This movie has a higher critic score than The Lord of the Rings, than The Gladiator, my guy. It's higher than those. Freak off. Y'all scoring is higher than The Lord of the Rings trilogy and Gladiator? And oh my gosh, the music in here is garbage. The music in here is just so monotone. It's not powerful. This is what happens when Hans Zimmer's not on the scene. I don't know if Hans Zimmer was in here. I doubt it. Because you don't feel any Greek mythological essence within the music itself. It's very hip-hop bass. Just, you modernized a Greek mythological classic story, a journey that told thousands of years ago, whether fictional or not. Whether fictional or not, how can you adapt a story and you make it bland and worse? You make it so bland that only the general audience will probably love and enjoy. If you really actually read the Odyssey story and you liked it, even loved it, and then you heard that, yo, they were adapting the story of the Odyssey, bro, and you're like, oh man, that's dope as freak, dude, but that's a 10-year epic. Is it gonna be 2 movies, 3, whatever? Oh no, it's gonna be 1 movie. We're gonna put that 10-year epic in 1 movie. And you're gonna be like, okay, all right, we'll see how they'll mash all that together and make it work. As long as they have as long as we get to see epic scenes of the gods, you know, casting their judgment, talking down on Odysseus, you know, Poseidon and Zeus, Helios, Hermes, seeing all the gods and everything like that, doing the trials and tribulations and everything like that, getting connected with the crew. You have to put a lot of effort in trying to make me care about Odysseus and his crew in one movie, bro. Inside one film. I didn't give a freak about none of these dudes, bro. I didn't care about none of his crew. First of all, I'm like, yo, Odysseus in here, he's a dick. I know Odysseus is somewhat of a pompous asshole a little bit, but he's cunning, he's smart. I don't think he doesn't show, just from what I've seen, again, from the story, I don't know if Odysseus is just cold and has no emotion in regards to his crew getting picked off one by one, getting knocked off the board throughout the whole journey, and him being the one man standing. Like, dude, at least shed one tear. Show me you care. Add a little bit of that. If they would have made it more emotional in that standpoint, I'd have been like, damn, bro. But when his crew was dying off, I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, all right, I'm just like, yo, hurry up and die, bro. I just didn't care. I did not care, dude. And Matt Damon. Oh God, I love Matt Damon as an actor, bro. When he was, but dude, I loved him in Elysium, and then you got the Bourne movies. You know what I'm saying? I think he was in The Departed, if I'm not mistaken. He was really, really great in The Departed. Matt Damon is such one of those actors where he's very meticulous with certain roles and things like that. But watching this movie, bro, I will say this. Let me go through all the actors and actresses before I continue on. And guys, again, this is just my opinion. If you love this film, hats off to you. Hats off to you, bro. But if you have never read the story of the Odyssey, don't read it. Just watch the movie. You'll probably enjoy yourself more. But yet again, I like to dig in. It makes me want to dig into the lore and the source material when I know that there's going to be a film about it, and I wanted to look into it. For the past few days, I've been watching videos looking into the history of the story, and I'm like, dude, this sounds dope. I wish that they would have made this, into multiple films, but I said, but it's alright. Big Daddy Christopher Nolan's gonna save us. He's gonna wrap this all up in one movie and make this epic. And then I heard the discourse, and then I heard the reviews, people praising it to Kingdom Come. It's one of the greatest, 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. And some people are like, I hate it. A lot of Greek people are pissed off. A lot of people are pissed off about this, and I see why. But first of all, let me get through the actors and actresses, okay? First of all, it was funny to see an Indian guy and an Asian guy in, a Greek mythological film, thousands of years set in that time, to where I'm assuming, the black people be Ethiopians, and we wouldn't be, it's just so funny, bro. Like, you made Helena Troy black and Athena light skin. She's basically black. I'm like, so we're like Christopher said, he's modernizing it. You definitely modernized it, buddy. And Elliot Page, I'm gonna get to you in a second, okay? So, Matt Damon as Odysseus. Matt Damon, I remember, I think Star Wars Girl said this, and I was like, oh God, please don't. She said Matt Damon plays Matt Damon, and she's not lying. There was no essence or nuance in regards to the character of Odysseus. It's like these guys just took the role, read the script, and were like, we're not even gonna look at the story. It's like they never even read it's like they never read the story. It's like y'all took this role and y'all know nothing about the source material. y'all just took this role and just like you just kind of phoned it in. First of all, there's no accents. There's no accents. You would think that they'd be like this. We have to get through this. We have to get through the sea in order to not piss off the gods. Or they'll be like this. You cannot come here. This is a sacred place for Zeus and the gods. This is Zeus's law. And that's final. They're just talking like this. Oh, this is Zeus's law and that's final. You can't go there. Poseidon is pissed. I'm like, dude, why else sound American? Can you at least show me that you kind of have passion to make this as accurate and as make it feel as Greek and mythological as possible? Really lose yourself within the role of the character. I'm talking in presence, voice, acting, your looks, your chops, all that stuff. It feels like everybody just came here and phoned it in. Matt Damon, again, he played Matt Damon. Robert Pattinson, he played a pompous little dick who basically, obviously, he wanted to get in Anne Hathaway's guts. The queen, Penelope, Odysseus' wife, he was one of the suitors. But Robert Pattinson is a chameleon of an actor, bro. Hats off to you, Robert. I can't wait to see Batman Part 2, but Robert Pattinson in this movie kind of was like... Dude, it's just so funny and it's weird because it's like he sounded he had elements of a more of an American just asshole with somewhat of a funny accent. It's like he didn't really much even had an accent. Really. I'd rather you talk, with your regular British accent, bro. So we'd have had some type of accent, but he was just like, who you talking to? You plate liquor. I'm like, what? Like, so Matt Damon to me could have done a better job. Robert Pattinson, I know, could have done a better job. I loved you in Twilight, buddy. I love you in Tenet. I love you in most of the roles you do. But it's like, I get you're told to... Christopher Nolan is supposed to direct how well and how he wants you to act and how he wants you to say things. So in that regard, I was extremely disappointed because I know Robert Pattinson, when he's ready to bring the A game, he could bring the A game. Matt Damon, I'm very disappointed, bro, because again, it feels like Matt Damon playing Matt Damon. I felt no Odysseus sauce dripping off of you, bro. What I've seen and heard from Odysseus in the story, you're not dripping that sauce, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Tom Holland is Telemachus, however you want to say his name, was a pussy in this movie, bro. He's a bitch. And I know Telemachus, in the story, he's a very inexperienced young man, experienced, and just, he's kind of to himself in that degree. But through the story, he progresses because he has it in him. But it just has to come out. And then when he finally sees his father and they have that endearing moment and the father has to take back his, rightful place as king, or take back his throne, that's when Telemachus, however you want to say his name, or Telemachus, however you want to say his name. People get so weird and stupid and just so obsessive about how you say certain names of characters in animes, movies, and shows or whatever. But Telemachus, however you say his name. In the story, he rises to the occasion towards the end. You feel me? To help his father take out the suitors, bruh. Sorry, spoilers if you haven't read this. This is common knowledge. So it's funny, it's not much spoilers, but I'm just comparing it to the story. And again, that's the problem. If you compare it to the source material, to the story, and if you love the Odyssey story, if you enjoy the Odyssey story, if you endear it, if you grew up with it, if it was something that you could have dreamed to see in live action, this movie's not for you, man. It's not for you, pal. Sir, it's not. Because you're going to leave the theater pissed as freak. If you love the Odyssey story and want it to be told accurately, whether it be ethnicity accuracy, mythological accuracy, don't watch this film. You're going to hate it. Just save your money. I know you've already seen all the discourse already. People ain't gonna watch this movie regardless because of the casting. And let me get to that. So Matt Damon plays Matt Damon. Robert Pattinson, again, he had his little funny, quirky moments, but it still felt weird to me because this is a Greek mythological story. And I'm like, why do you motherfreakers not... Why aren't y'all acting Greek? Why don't you sound Greek? In that time period, that piece, you took Homer's epic story in that time period, took it to the future, brought it here now, modernized it, and you mutilated everything that made it special. That's what you did. That's what you did, Christopher. I am very disappointed because Christopher, I sound like I'm from District 9 is Wickus. Christopher, you were better off, Christopher Nolan, calling this movie you could have called this movie The Journey Back, or The Long Journey Home, or Breaking the Seas. Call it anything except The Odyssey. This should have been an original story. I would rather Christopher Nolan made an original story out of this, and don't even compare it. Don't adapt it as the Odyssey story, because you shitted all over it. You did. Homer would be rolling in his grave right now, whether he be real or mythological, because some people think Homer is actually fictional, and some people think he's non-fictional. So however you take it, but any Greek mythological lover, because there's a lot of people who love Greek mythology. They love that crap. They love it. Anyone who is a huge fan and lover of Greek mythological stories, don't see this movie. Don't see this movie. You're paying to get pissed off. You're filling their pockets while they're pissing on what you love. Again, you see no gods in here. You see the story. You see the monster. I forgot the name of the monster. You know what I'm saying? The monster that they encounter when they're trying to get past the little whirlpool or anything like that. You know, the little whirlpool, whatever. Bro. Again, firstly, let me get through the actors because I'm trying to wrap this up because I'm just so tired. I'm kind of just tired of coming to the movies and seeing mediocrity or seeing straight bullshit. That's all I've been getting lately. I'm actually at this point, now that Tom Holland was in this and John Berthal was in this, it lowers my expectation, funny in a way, for Brand New Day, which I assume I have hope in Brand New Day. I truly hope it's good, man. I can't take much more of this. I can't, bro. So let me get to this, man. Matt Damon plays Matt Damon. Robert Pattinson plays a lower prestigious acting prowess level, of which I know that he could do better, but I guess this is how they wanted him to act. He just was snobby, pompous, and just a sniveling weasel, honestly. And Tom Holland, bro. Tom Holland, bro. I'm sick of you. Every time, if it's not a Spider-Man role for Tom Holland, it's like, why does he always play a bitch in Tom Holland's defense? Not his defense. To confront Tom Holland on his roles. Anything besides Spider-Man, it's always a minuscule, just emasculated, just a little weakling, bro, a little bitch, bro. He was a pussy in this movie, and that is not That's not Telemachus, bro. Or Telemachus, however you want to say his name. Through the story, he has a coming-of-age story throughout this whole 10-year span, or out the whole time of him not knowing his father, being trained, being there for his mother, wanting to meet his father, waiting for that day, still having hope, you feel me? And then again, towards the end of the film, this motherfreaker just kills one guy, when in the story, towards the climax, he helps Odysseus, take out most of the suitors, bruh. You have Athena, Odysseus, and Telemachus, however you say his name, and then a few other people that ally with them, and they kill all the suitors, bro. They kill them all. You don't get that in here, dude. I'm like, bro, you left epicness on the table, and y'all didn't have to do that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, Jack. Just make a solid, accurate depiction and execute it in the movie and make everyone happy. There was nothing to prove by modernizing this epic story. You gain nothing. You gain nothing, Christopher. Universal. You gain nothing by modernizing this Greek mythological epic poem from Homer, bruh. Even the movie Troy, they took everything special about Troy. Why do they keep doing this to Homer's stuff? Even though Troy was an alright film, but yeah, you take away all the Greek mythological you take all the Greek mythological essence and influence out of that movie, and you take the mythos out of that movie, and you do the same thing with this movie, and they are both from Homer. Why y'all keep grounding this man's shit when they're Greek mythological stories? I'm sorry for cursing, bro, but it's sad because you basically take away the epicness and the grandiose from Troy, based off the Iliad, if I'm saying it right, the Iliad or Liliad, however they call it, the story of Troy. You take the Greek mythology out of it. You take the Greek mythology out of the Odyssey. Why? Why can't we just have an epic film about gods? About gods being petty with man, and man trying to under-evaluate or challenge the gods and their law and their rules. And then you see the gods, you know what I'm saying, actually in physical, like, you actually get to see the gods on screen having counsel, making these decisions. All of them. Helios, Hermes, Zeus, Poseidon, Hades. Show them to me. 'Cause it's cool as shit. So if they're not in here, this it's not cool. It's boring. It's bland, buddy. It's like, and I'm only this hot because, it's Christopher Nolan. And it's funny, right? I guess I should have known better. Because Christopher Nolan likes to, most of the time, Christopher Nolan likes to tell grounded stories. That's why I said, I guess this just isn't Christopher Nolan's cup of tea. Even though Christopher Nolan will have a little bit of sci-fi in it, like Interstellar, Inception, all that stuff, Tenet, even in the movie, it's like he only showed bare bones of the mythological epicness. You see the Cyclops here, the monster, I forgot the name of the monster, but the monster defending that path for them to try to get out, and that was next to the whirlpool. Bro, I would say this, there was parts in this movie, it was like, dude, if you see the story and you see about Circe the witch, and when they get turned into pigs, that part is just, dude, that is grotesque. It is grotesque, and I'm just like, freak. And then the one main part in the film, but again, let me go through all these actors and actresses first before I just do whatever. I'm at 34 freaking minutes. Okay, so I'm gonna make this quick. Matt Damon plays Matt Damon. Robert Pattinson just plays, again, a lower level of what I know he's capable of in this movie. Sometimes it's like, you think to yourself, are y'all, like, actually attempting to try to play the character that are y'all actually trying to attempt to sound like you're from Greece, you feel me? Are you, like, dude, are y'all trying? So Matt Damon is Matt Damon. Robert Pattinson is whatever. Tom Holland is a bitch in here. Tom Holland basically plays Tom Holland a little bit. It's like his speech pattern in certain moments kind of sounds like he's from Greece, or he is Greek, but when he's still talking, it's like when he said, "Where's my dad?" I'm like, what? Like, usually you're supposed to say, like, where's my father? I need to see my father. Like, dude, you sound like Tom Holland. And again, the way they did Telemachus, the way they had Tom Holland portray Telemachus, they made him portray him like a bitch. And it's like, alright, and then at the end of the movie, what character developed? Like, you had the most just asinine, half-ass character development in regards to Telemachus. It just was like, what the freak? Zendaya didn't have to be in here. And I'm not saying she's a horrible actress. It's just, Zendaya, Lupita, and Elliot Page. You guys were just put in here to check the boxes. Sorry. I'm not even gonna waste my time explaining when you guys watch the movie. If y'all watch the movie, that's your choice. I'm talking to the only people that I would say not to watch this movie again is if you love the story of the Odyssey. I repeat, if you love the story of the Odyssey, do not see this film. If you haven't read the Odyssey and you want to see this film, don't read the Odyssey. See the film. Because I guarantee you, if you read the Odyssey, if you look into the lore, the mythos, the source material, everything that makes the Odyssey story special, and then you come to this movie, you're paying to get pissed off. You're paying to get upset. That's what you're paying for. But if you're a general audience and you don't care about any of that, you will love this film. You probably will love this film. This film has epic moments in here, but it does have slow moments. Certain build-up takes a while. Dude, and again, this movie is 2 hours and 52 minutes. Mother freaker, the movie feels like it's 3 hours and 30 minutes to me. You feel every minute. I'm like, dude, when I gotta go home and help my sister move some things, man. She's gotta go to Florida. I gotta wake up at 3 a.m. You feel me? So yeah, you feel every minute in this movie. But yeah, Lupita, Zendaya, Elliot, ma'am, sir, or they, them, however, they did not need to be in this film. They did not need to be in this film. They brought nothing to the character. Zendaya brought nothing special as Athena. Lupita really didn't bring nothing as Helena Troy. And thank God Elliot didn't play Achilles. He's not Achilles, he's Sinan, however. They said but people said actually Sinan was based off as a playoff or replacement for Achilles in a way. And I'm like, get the freak out of here, bro. They did not need to be in this role. They did not, and you know it's funny, they barely are even in this movie, to be real. So it's like, that's kind of like whatever. But my thing is, again, for them to cast those specific people in a Greek mythological timepiece, and you're like to yourself, why would they do that? So I'm coming to the movie to see why they chose you to break lore and accuracy. Seeing that they chose you and casted you because I guess you brought something special when they were doing test screening and everything like that. When they were doing casting calls, Lupita must have killed it. Zendaya must have killed it. Elliot Page must have killed it for them to have cast them, right? They didn't kill it. It was just a basic, bland portrayal of the characters, which leads me to believe you guys were casted to check off your DEI boxes and what people call woke. I don't care to really say all that, but that's how it makes me feel, because y'all brought nothing special to the roles. You were just there and just sang your lines. So pass off with that. They had an Asian guy in here. Yeah, and he met his fate with the sirens. Yeah. So I'll leave it at that. The Indian guy in here, he's an Indian guy in here, and he just, I guess he kind of acted like the general. And yeah, guys, again, this is Nolan's worst film to me. I will never watch this movie again. To honestly, I would say even if I've never read or looked into and read listened to the audiobook of the Odyssey, I think even if I knew nothing about Homer's story, the Odyssey, and I just walked in and just watched this movie, I still think that I would probably watch it if it came on streaming and I ain't paying for it, just to probably just look at it again, see if there's something I missed, or see if there's any really rewatchable value to it. But I'll tell you this, I can't stand when people say, oh, just watch it again, Cass. It takes me one time to watch a movie and know if I love that movie. It takes me one time to watch a movie and know if I will ever watch a movie again. This movie I will never watch again, because to me, certain parts drag. I feel bad for the people of Greece.